You are a man who understands biopharma. You are a man who knows deeply the healthcare system in which we live. We have just been all glued to our screens about the healthcare update of the United States president. What an opportunity this is for the healthcare sector in the US. Where do you feel your optimism or lack thereof when it comes to averting the virus, moving forward from the global pandemic?
Yeah, well, thank you, and thanks for having me on. Look, I have a lot of optimism about what I think the biopharmaceutical companies can do here to help solve the virus. I think we have already some therapeutics that have been approved that have been helping people like the president and others. There are more that are coming in the works. And then, of course, the vaccines, and over 100 vaccines in development, several in very final stages. And my sense is later this year, we'll start to see some real data from the late stage studies. And I'm pretty optimistic we're going to have at least 2 or 3 vaccines that are good, they're effective, and they're safe.
You're going to be also a man who's optimistic about the future of your new company, Vesper Healthcare acquisition, the SPAC that has just gone public, of course. You at the helm as CEO. You are an operator, Brent. You are a man who's, of course, years at Allergan, but you're a man who does deals. You operate big healthcare businesses. What are you looking to build here? Because at Allergan, you have expertise in aesthetics, you have expertise in eye care, you've got expertise and passion when it comes to, of course, the likes of health and wellness. Where are you finding the excitement right now?
Yeah, so you're exactly right. I think what differentiates Vesper from perhaps many of the other SPACs that are out there, and we keep seeing headlines about, you know, the hot market that SPACs are and SPAC fatigue and other things like that. But where I think Vesper really differentiates itself is I'm an operator. We are operators. We want to find a platform company and we want to build Vesper for the long term. I'm not a serial SPAC launcher. I don't intend to do this, 10 or 12 times. I intend to make Vesper the best it can be. And you hit the nail on the head. I want to go where I know how to work. I want to go into areas where I have deep experience, deep networks, great talent around me to build big businesses. So we're going to look at health and wellness, aesthetics, eye care, and healthcare more generally, all in a way, frankly, that's really not competitive with my old company. I love Allergan. They're doing a great job with AbbVie right now. And so there's enough room there for Vesper to compete in a way that doesn't really go against my old colleagues.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're certainly the man with the experience to do it. I'm curious why you chose this vehicle to do it rather than, I guess, creating a private fund or going some other sort of private funding route.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing. I think also what makes us different is I didn't intend to do a SPAC. I came up with an idea. I think I understand segments of these industries incredibly well. I see opportunities to build an enduring growth company. And I backed into the SPAC. So in other words, I came up with an idea of what I wanted to do. And then I figured out, okay, how do we raise the capital to do that? And I looked at raising the money myself. I talked to private equity companies. I talked to banks. I talked to a variety of other equity sources, capital sources, and then realized that the SPAC was both efficient and appropriate for what I wanted to do. So it just kind of backed into it, but I couldn't be happier. We had a great IPO. We had a lot of demand, and now we're out looking to consummate some business combinations and get moving.
Brent, I am curious about how this whole pandemic has changed the way we view deals. On one hand, seems like almost every healthcare company, every pharmaceutical company has focused on one thing, and that is COVID-19, whether it be a vaccine or a therapeutic. And yet we still know there are millions of other diseases out there that still need some big R&D investment. Do you feel like all the attention on COVID-19 has left an opportunity for you to disrupt existing diseases that still need cures and helps and therapeutics? Or are we equally able to allocate money across multiple different therapies?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Look, and we have as a healthcare system have done the best we can for COVID, whether you're on the front lines as a doctor or a nurse or you're in the labs like the biopharmaceutical companies looking for therapeutics and vaccines. I couldn't be prouder of the broader healthcare industry in that everybody jumped in and tried to solve this crisis for the world. And ultimately, I think we will. I'm very optimistic that will happen over the next several months. When you think about the rest of the diseases, we have vastly as a society underfunded anti-infective, antiviral research for years and years and years. And I think we're now aware of that. And so I hope that we come out of this with a better idea of not just doing a moonshot for cancer, but how about a moonshot for antivirals or antibacterials? That's where I think we need federal government involvement. Neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer may be one of the biggest plagues that we face as a society in the coming years. And yet we don't know how to even begin to treat the disease. At Allergan, we had symptomatic treatments we worked on, but we don't know how to stop the progression of that disease. And that's going to touch more Americans and more people around the world than COVID will. So there's a lot of work for everybody to do. I hope that this, one of the silver linings in this horrible situation is that we realize that we can't just focus on the diseases that are hot or where the science is hot, but we need help, whether it be from an NIH or private industry. We need help in targeting these really tough to serve areas.
And this is a tough to serve climate in which we live at the moment, Brent. And I was interested by an op-ed that you wrote a little while back saying returning to business amid COVID-19 will be the preeminent leadership challenge of this generation. How do you change the way in which you lead as you start looking for companies to helm, as you look for new industries to disrupt to particular parts of the healthcare industry? What's changed about the way you're going to go about leading a business?
Yeah, I think today more so than ever, and it's been a long time in the making, but I think what's happened in 2020 really puts an exclamation point on this. You have to run a company today for the benefit of society. Yes, you have to have superior returns for your shareholders. That's the ticket to play the game. But you also have to run a company that's good in the communities in which it lives, that gives back to society, that is open to diverse ideas, diverse people, diverse populations. That's what consumers want. That's what employees want. That's what communities want. That's what governments want. And so we have to start doing that. And we've seen amazing things happen with companies all across the world. But I think that's now, instead of the exception, I hope that now is the norm, where companies are really stepping up and doing things that go above and beyond just promoting their P&L.